as Canadians, we've always struggled with a sense of identity. However, hockey is one of those things we can call our own. It is our game. Until recently, though, blacks have not been at the forefront of this game. We're about to meet a young man who has changed some of that.
I'm Kevin Weeks. I'm a former NHL goaltender. I played professionally for 14 years, parts of 12 seasons in the NHL. I'm a Stanley Cup finalist from 2002 with the Carolina Hurricanes. Currently, I'm a broadcaster with CBC, Hockey Night in Canada, and the NHL Network.
We'll get right to it. As a person of color, what was it when you first started playing in an organized league? What was your experience?
Well, initially my experience was very positive because the area that I grew up in Toronto at the time was very multicultural. We grew up around St. Clair and Christie. So St. Clair has, as you know, St. Clair West has a very huge Italian population, but also Portuguese, Yugoslavian, and a lot of West Indians. So a lot of our parents, regardless of what our background was, a lot of our parents at that time had recently emigrated to Canada. So that area, being as diverse as it was great in terms of my upbringing. I mean, Grant Fuhr at the time was the best goalie in the world, and winning Stanley Cup with the Oilers, the most fun goalie to watch. He's excitable, he's dynamic, and best glove hand I've ever seen myself. I don't care what anybody says, hands down.
You heard it.
You heard it. So, but yeah, just watching Grant on Saturday nights with the Oilers, he was the guy that I was always able to point to because I knew I wanted to be a goalie. So I was always, if somebody had something silly to say, I would just always refer to number 31 with the Oilers, and that pretty much blocked that argument pretty quickly.
What does it mean for Kevin Weeks to be black in Canada?
Well, it means you got to take it back to the beginning, and it means my parents emigrating from Barbados. And, I'm sure you can relate to it. Majority of us, our parents come from different places in Africa or the Caribbean specifically. So you leave Paradise. Our parents left where everybody goes. So start there, and they wanted us to have naturally different opportunities and be exposed to different things. So essentially, I lived the Canadian dream. So to be here, I look at it as trailblazer in a lot of ways, an example in a lot of ways, and more than anything else, just living my dream.
If you were the only black goalie at the time, how did you deal with that? Because in the NHL, you must have had all sorts of people saying all sorts of stuff. So what did you do to kind of get over that?
Well, I mean, I'm very strong mentally. That was a cut in junior hockey, or I wouldn't even have been able to play in the minors if I wasn't. So I think mental fortitude, technical fortitude were two big keys for me. The reality is there were challenges. The reality is, I got held to a higher standard than other guys at different times. Some guys, you look at the stats, and, okay, well, this guy wasn't traded, but you're traded. Okay, this guy's supposed to be the next great. We're going to have him. He's not playing well. He's underperforming. He's not in shape. He doesn't train. But yet, so he's still there. He has a 4-year contract. So there's a lot of inequity that comes with that. But anytime you're doing something as a pioneer, anytime you're doing something that is making history, positive history more specifically, that's just the nature of it. That's just how it goes.
Did you feel any sort of responsibility that, hey, I'm about to make it here, and there might be some young black boys and girls that are looking up to me? Did that weigh on your shoulders at all?
Did it weigh? No, it didn't weigh. Was it a responsibility? Absolutely. Did it feel a responsibility? Absolutely. There's a lot more than your path career-wise is a lot wider than the stereotypical path. The stereotypical path are typically very narrow, and you're not supposed to do this if you look a certain way. You're not supposed to be doing that if you come from a certain place, and or your parents are of a certain denomination. And I don't believe in that. That's something that I really don't believe in. I believe in diversity, and not just from a cultural standpoint, but more importantly, just from a community standpoint. Because you can't have all your eggs in one basket. Everybody can't be a player. Everybody can't aspire to play in the NHL or to play in the NBA or the NFL or Major League Baseball. Somebody has to be a neurosurgeon. Somebody has to be the next great biotech. Somebody has to be, a great cross-border taxation specialist at PricewaterhouseCoopers. Everybody has to do something different, and everybody's talented in their own way. So I like to see people go beyond their comfort zone and really try to